I want to do a test again really quick.
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
All right. I just wanted to test one more time because I'm writing everything down. You can hear me now. I've got aux and OL on, correct?
Yep.
All right. I'm turning them off. You can't hear me now, correct?
Can I hear anything?
Cannot hear me. Okay. All right. So confirmed, when you're on Comrex, I have to have aux and OL on. Okay. That's fine. Not fine, but you know what I mean.
Piedmont Triad area weather. Unsettled weather coming in today. Multiple rounds of showers and thunderstorms expected not only for today, but also into tonight. And we do have the possibility of strong to isolated severe thunderstorms. The main threats would be damaging winds, maybe some isolated larger hail. Heavy rainfall too today. The high mid to upper 80s, the overnight low upper 60s. Slim chance for wet weather lingering for tomorrow and then drier weather Sunday. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Naramore. For News Talk Sports for the Triad, WSJS.
The Rundown on Triad Talk Network. Christian brings you the best local events in the area. Check out the Rundown blog each week on TriadTalkNetwork.com. It's the Rundown.
Sales Spectacular going on now at Jerry Hunt Supercenter.
Why are you talking like that?
My boy sells cars.
You're telling me that saying we have over 900 like-new vehicles in stock, priced very fair because at Jerry Hunt, we buy more, we sell more, and more importantly, you save more is not as good as you saying it?
Well?
See, no need for that.
But!
No, stop.
Jerry Hunt Supercenter, North Carolina's home of the lifetime powertrain warranty.
You just don't listen, do you?
Your team, your town, your Twin City Thunderbirds. The flock is ready. So join the flight. Get your season tickets today at TwinCityThunderbirds.com. Wings up. Game on. The season starts with you. Turn up the thunder. Defend the nest. Get your season tickets now and take flight to TwinCityThunderbirds.com.
Thunderbird hockey is the best.
Good morning, Triad, and welcome to the Daily Pulse with Steven Back. Get ready to dive into the stories that matter most, the headlines shaping your day, the conversations everyone's having, and the local perspective you won't hear anywhere else. Your front row seat to the voices, issues, and energy driving the Triad. The Daily Pulse starts now on WSJS.
If it seems like you lose a joint practice when everyone's screaming this time of the year, that's what's important. That's what matters. Does tonight's preseason game matter? Happy Friday to you. Daily Pulse here. Getting things rolling on a Friday. Couple of hours ahead where we're going to have lots of fun, I hope. Especially with you with us. I know it'll be a lot better than if I was just over here alone with Christian and talking to myself. That's for certain. And we appreciate you hanging out with us all the time. TriadTalkNetwork.com at Steven Beck TTN. and at Triad Talk Net on X. If you follow there, it's easy to plug in, talk with us during the show. Also, catch our video feed, which is live on YouTube, and it's also there on the homepage at triadtalknetwork.com. Over the next couple hours, we've got a couple of guests coming our way. We're going to be joined by Dave Pulaski, who was on the call last night in some high school football action with, I think, a fear of more rain and wet weather coming in the evening hours of today. They went ahead and moved a bunch of these high school football games up a day, and so we sent Dave out a day early. He was on the call last night, Reagan versus Mount Tabor in the Winston-Salem area. We have a full lineup of all the scores from last night's action we'll share with you, but we'll also have Dave help us recap that in just a little while. Coming up this hour, we're also going to be joined by Doug Eslick. He is our trusted financial advisor. He is a part of the Edward Jones family, and he gives us our Monday morning market updates on Mondays, which he'll do this next week. I'm certain of that. But we love to try to get some time with Doug where we can slow things down just a little bit and answer some more practical questions than just get the nuts and bolts from the market updates. And today, the goal of that conversation, I think, is like a double-ended spectrum. On one end, you've got kind of a younger audience, people just starting their careers. What should they be thinking when it comes to financial planning? And then on the other end of the spectrum, you've got people that are slowing down, looking to retire. Maybe they're finishing up their career now and moving towards the retirement portion of their life. And so what should they be thinking? So we'll get those thoughts and feelings from Doug, rifled headlines, some other things as well mixed in. Happy to have you with us here. Let's get it all started with your latest headlines.
Pulse Check. It's what's happening right now.
North Carolina law enforcement agencies say they remain in negotiations with Immigration and Customs Enforcement over the 287 agreements required by Senate Bill 153. The State Highway Patrol told WFAE it does not yet have an agreement in place. The law permits participating officers to identify and process jail detainees who may face deportation and, depending on the agreement, perform specified immigration enforcement functions during routine duties. We had mentioned the weather moved up some of those high school football games. Well, that's the story here. A flood watch covers portions of the centralized area here in North Carolina. Repeated thunderstorms could produce excessive rainfall, flash flooding, damaging winds later on this evening. And federal law changes will end regular North Carolina Medicaid coverage for certain lawfully present non-citizens, including some refugees and people granted asylum or humanitarian parole. U.S. citizens are not affected by this. That begins October 1st. There was also a couple of games last night in NFL action. We didn't just have high school football going, which before I move too far away from the high school thing, there's another Manning out there. And he's just started his high school football career. So we got some clips of his action from last night, his first ever throw in his high school game. And if your last name's Manning, well, we're all going to probably pay attention, at least for a little while, and see how this goes. Archie Manning set to try to rebound, have a pretty darn good season for the Texas Longhorns in college football starting next weekend. But also in the NFL last night, the Raiders, Texans played one another. The 49ers and Chargers had a game. That was the only two preseason games last night, but we got a slew of them tonight, including the Carolina Panthers playing the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think everything kicks off there around 7:30. And I thought we would, spend a few minutes previewing this matchup where this would be likely the real final dress rehearsal for the Panthers. They still will have an additional preseason game one extra over the rest of the league, aside from the Cardinals, because those are the two teams that had the Hall of Fame game. And so they have 4 while the rest of the league gets 3 preseason games. But this third preseason game for the Panthers, you would like to think that's our final glow up. That is our dress rehearsal. We're trying to look our best, be ready going into week 1. Because I would say more than likely that final preseason game for many teams is used again to make your final 53-man roster cuts. A lot of backup guys. You don't want to risk anyone getting injured. I think it's a big farce. I really do. I had shared a couple days ago, I think, where Tom Brady, Hall of Fame quarterback, was very vocal on his own social media about how times have really changed with players and the dynamics around wanting to be on the field, it seems. Because Tom came up in an era where he didn't want to be off the field. He didn't want to have the clipboard in hand and the backwards ball cap like I'm wearing this morning and the headset on, just watching from the sidelines. He wanted to be in the game, playing, get in the action. If I'm healthy enough to practice, then I'm healthy enough to play. And so conversations swirl around this preseason game for the Panthers in that same effect. They had 2 straight joint practices with the Jacksonville Jaguars. You ask anybody that is surrounding the NFL, the league, and what the mindset is nowadays, you hear a lot of conversation that says these joint practices may or may not be more impactful than the preseason game itself. Allen Iverson would have lost his mind at that. We're talking about practice, not a game. That's what I don't really understand fully, because practice with another team, they're supposedly getting these reps where it's starters versus starters. And I think it's smart. It's intelligent the way they invite the officials out. And so officials will be there on the sides of each of these practices, throwing flags and, watching for penalties and helping to, I guess, guide them on what it would be like if it were a game. But the dynamics and trying to figure out what is left for this Panthers team to accomplish in this preseason, well, I, as best as I understand it, tonight's the night, and the practices leading up to it were it. I think I hesitate there, actually. I'll say they have a couple of joint practices, or at least one with the Texans coming up this next week. The way, again, we're talking things here, I would imagine that those joint practices would be something people would say are important. That's going to be a deciding factor on people's chances of making this team, maybe the depth chart around it, whatever else you want to try to gauge from those practice times. Well, that's what they're hanging their hat on. That's the new NFL right now. So as we go into tonight, if I read this correct throughout many of the reports out of Jacksonville this week, the Panthers are losing. Before they've even kicked off this game tonight, they had a couple of joint practices, like I said, with the Jags, where I think it was a pretty rough start, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Again, for a team that's given up 59 points in 2 preseason games. First, second, third string, whoever it is, that's the number they've put up. I want to say that on the offensive side, there may or may not have been a little bit of a bounce back late in the latest practice against the Jaguars, but I don't think it started great on that end of the ball either. The only clip that I was able to retain out of much of that was Felipe Franks catching a ball, kind of with a defender draped all over him, losing his helmet, kind of standing up proudly with that. But, other than that, I don't think we got a whole lot that as a Panther supporter, you'd be extremely excited about coming out of the reports that I read. So I don't, with tonight's game, for me, if it's not important, then it's not. But I would like to pretend that it is for half a second And I would like to see an offense that had 9 snaps of the football come out and get a first down tonight. Let's just start there. They couldn't do that against the Bills. Let's get at least 1 first down. Let's make the goal attainable. From there, if they could get a scoring drive, I think that would be a success. I don't know how many plays with this Panthers team you could try to stretch it. Again, I would probably be more risky than most would be this day and age, but it has been a rough offseason of a lot of different injuries and management around those. And Haynes King, he's the one that I feel like needs these reps more than anybody. I still don't think he's going to be ready to go with a sore hamstring. So I'd like to see the offense move the ball. Now, the problem there is something that Kevin O'Connell, he's the coach of the Vikings, just recently shared about Kyler Murray. The Vikings chose Murray instead of J.J. McCarthy to be at least their starter at the start of the season here. Well, Murray and Bryce physically share many of the same similar characteristics. And I think part of the struggle is that Bryce sometimes cannot see down the field. I mean, just physically, he's unable because of his size, and that's where Kyler is. Well, Kevin basically admitted that is exactly what's happening.
I'm just curious about what you've learned about how he overcomes the height issue, and sort of seeing the field, and just how he's still able to make completions like he did yesterday downfield.
Yeah, it's funny because I don't know if you guys caught it in Drew Brees' Hall of Fame speech. He told the story about when he told Cam Cameron and Brian Schottenheimer he couldn't see somebody who was open, and they told him it's your job to see. So, the other day in practice, because I showed the quarterbacks that clip and I showed them some other things because I thought Drew did an unbelievable job in that speech. But he couldn't see on a play, and he didn't want to tell me that, so he prefaced it with, I know I'm not allowed to say this, but, and, we both got a laugh out of it. It's going to happen from time to time, depending on the angles and how the protection and the rush kind of pattern works. That's going to be part of it, but he also has a lot of experience understanding space based upon the defense that they play, space based upon what we're trying to do from a standpoint of attacking voids and vacancies. And so we've seen some really good examples of him being able to overcome that, play in rhythm and anticipate some throws. And we've also seen some times where we got to get him more reps of what that throw actually.
Yeah, so it just he's explaining the full dynamics of these smaller size quarterbacks, what they're battling. Drew Brees was one of the best at trying to find a passing lane. Kyler Murray gonna have problems with that, it sounds. I know unequivocally. Bryce Young does as well. That's why he throws a lot of this stuff short of the sticks. So while we're probably expecting of that tonight, I think the defense, as we go to our break here, I would just simply like to have them hold a team under maybe, we'll say, fairly 20 points. 59-2. That ain't going to cut it. And that's supposed to be their strong part of this team. All right, we'll take our break. We come back. Digitally is where your ID may end up on the Daily Pulse.
Rob Zombie.
I feel so good, I feel so numb, yeah.
Marilyn Manson. One night, one stage in pure shock rock energy. This Monday night, August 24th, True Lion Amphitheater, Charlotte. Listen to WSJS for your chance to win tickets or enter online at WSJS.com. Don't miss the Freaks on Parade, Rob Zombie and Marilyn Manson.
Biscuit King in High Point and Lexington serves enormous, delicious, award-winning biscuits. Made from scratch and filled up with whatever you like best. Today's special is a country ham biscuit for only $3.29. Biscuit King. Delivery and online ordering available through BiscuitKingLex.com.
This hour of conversation is brought to you in part by Crossroads Ford in Kernersville, the Ford store that gives you more, just off I-40 on Highway 66.
Drive it, love it.
CrossroadsFordKernersville.com.
A night of racing, remembrance, and giving back this Friday night at Bowman Gray Stadium. The
the inaugural Kyle Busch Invitational, a special night celebrating the life and legacy of Kyle Busch. A talented field of Legends drivers and Bandolero drivers will battle it out at the Madhouse. Every lap makes a difference, as all proceeds from the event will benefit the Bundle of Joy Fund. Get your tickets now at BowmanGrayRacing.com or at the gate.
Calvary Day School, serving over 1,000 students from preschool through 12th grade, is accepting applications for the 2026-2027 school year. Submit your application before February 1st to receive early consideration in the admissions process. See why so many families choose Calvary for its commitment to faith-centered education and academic excellence. Schedule your campus tour today, 336-714-5575. That's 336-714-5575, or visit online at calvaryday.school.
Between endless meetings, tea times, and a desire to improve your swing, finding the perfect golf show can be a real challenge. Hi, my name is Jay Delsing. I'm a two-time All-American and a 25-year PGA Tour veteran. Join me Saturday mornings at 8 a.m. for celebrity guests, laughter, and tips to elevate your play. Golf with Jay Delsing. Hit the greens with us Saturday mornings at 8 a.m. on WSJS.
Come on out and play.
Your daily beat on the Triad streets. This is the Daily Pulse with Stephen Back.
Morning to you if you're just joining us on a Friday Daily Pulse here. Got a couple of guests that are going to be right there with you here in just a few. Actually, after the bottom of the hour, we're going to have Doug Eslick with us to talk some advice for maybe you, maybe someone you know that is looking to improve their financial future, looking at two different ends of the deal today, I feel like. The younger segment and maybe the folks looking at retirement much sooner in their future. So that's coming your way. Plus, Dave Pulaski, who was on the call last night for our Triad Talk Network high school football game of the week 1 in high school. He was watching Reagan beat Mount Tabor last night, shut them out 20-0. He'll be with us, and we'll get you some other high school football scores as well, maybe his take from some of the other games around the league in just a little bit. I saw this yesterday where I don't think for much longer a wallet will be necessary for some people. It's already close that way, I would say, because there's people already that do a lot of the tap to pay thing. I haven't really joined that deal yet. I don't carry cash. I am one of those. I've already kind of cut that out of my diet, so to speak. But for some people, I think they've narrowed it down where in their wallet they may have like their form of ID, and they may carry some extra cards just to be on the safe side. But like if they walk into a store, sometimes it's just phone and keys, and that's it. And that's where we're taking a step closer to that coming up this, it seems like December now, where the North Carolina Division of Motor Vehicles says they're going to provide everybody, if you'd like, a mobile ID. So long go the days of having the actual physical license, and now you can get a digital ID through what they're calling the NC Wallet. What you'll do is you'll download that. You will scan your existing physical NC driver's license or state ID, then take a selfie so they can compare and verify that you are who you are and that's your ID. And once that, the digital ID will be issued to you in your app, and you don't have to worry about carrying the plastic one once everybody adopts this. I mean, this is pretty early. I think there's already a couple of airports I read that accept digital IDs. I guess there's other states that are ahead of North Carolina that have already passed this and made this a thing. But NC is going to put this into motion, available to people, they're saying, as early as December. If you get pulled over, I know that's probably a question for people. what happens then? Like if I'm not carrying my actual physical driver's license, a lot of times the officer, what is it, Christian? They come up to the car and they say,
license and registration.
Yeah. And they want to have you hand over those articles to them so that way they can take it back to the car maybe, or check it out, look at it, make sure it's the real deal. For people worried about that, they are saying that the officer can still verify your ID through a secure reader or by having you tap your phone against an authorized device, and it'll do like an instant check to make sure it's there. When was it that we were just saying the other day? Oh, I remember what it was. It was the dog that ended up getting loose and finding its way here to Greensboro and then reunited. Where was that dog from? I can't remember now.
Ohio, if I'm not
Ohio,
mistaken.
that's it. Yeah, Ohio. Dog gets loose, breaks away, somehow makes its way all the way here in North Carolina. They scan the dog at, I think, the Guilford County Animal Shelter, find out, oh, whoa, this dog's registered to somebody in Ohio. They reached out to the owner, and the owner's like, I have no idea, but I'm on the next flight out. And they had a happy ending there. I'm glad. That was cool. I said it then, though. What did I say?
Microchips.
We're one step closer. I'm telling you, this is getting eerily close to where we're all just going to have a chip. Forget about the actual item, the tangible thing that identifies you. We might as well just line up now, have everybody just get the chip, and then instead of an officer tapping something, our phone to his device, he'll be scanning us. we'll be tapping to his device to make sure we are who we are.
I don't like it. I don't like it at all. It's against my morals.
I understand. I'm just saying, I mean, this is all right. Let me put this the way that they described.
Please do.
This license here. Okay. And you tell me if this doesn't sound very close to just being microchipped. Talking of the new digital ID, you can sign up for 2026 December. It is a digitally issued credential whose information is cryptographically verified by approved technology. Go ahead and get that microchip, Christian. You need to be scanned, boy.
Sounds very close
I don't want
to
see
prophecy.
you. I don't want to see you lifting your leg on a hydrant anywhere nearby, though, either. All right, we'll take our break. We come back. We're going to have Doug Eslick join us here on the Daily Pulse, just getting going on a Friday on the Triad Talk Network.
Don't miss the game everyone's been talking about. It's your town, your team, your Jerry Hunt Supercenter High School football game of the week.
We got to win that area, and we can't have turnovers on offense.
Jerry Hunt Supercenter, the king of pre-owned vehicles in Lexington and Salisbury.
Steps out of the tackle. He'll go all the way.
The Jerry Hunt Supercenter High School football game of the week is powered in part by Play It Again Sports. Built for the game, ready for Friday night in High Point, Greensboro, and Winston-Salem. By Pat's Body Shop in Towing, proud to support our hometown heroes for over 60 years. And by Dario Restaurants. Friday Night Football starts with a Dario Feast.
This is definitely a big game, and it's a lot of fun.
Hear the showdowns live, along with coaches' interviews. And Dave Pulaski breaks down the games each week. The Jerry Hunt Supercenter High School football game of the week. Heard exclusively on WSJS and WSJS.com.
Piedmont Triad area weather. Unsettled weather coming in today. Multiple rounds of showers and thunderstorms expected not only for today, but also into tonight. And we do have the possibility of strong to isolated severe thunderstorms. The main threats would be damaging winds, maybe some isolated larger hail. Heavy rainfall too today. The high mid to upper 80s, the overnight low upper 60s. Slim chance for wet weather lingering for tomorrow and then drier weather Sunday. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Naramore. For News Talk Sports for the Triad, WSJS.
A quarterback has a bad game. A team makes a big move. A superstar suddenly looks human. Everyone sees what happened, but there's always more to the story. The Colin Cowherd Show breaks down the trends, the decisions, the personalities, and the pressure behind the biggest stories in sports.
It's familiar faces and familiar voices, and it's friends and it's allies.
Smart Sports Talk starts here. The Colin Cowherd Show, this afternoon at 2 and tonight at 9 on WSJS.
Come on. Country music superstar Luke Bryan.
Shake it for me, girl.
Live.
Shake it for me, girl. Shake it.
Word on the Street Tour. Saturday, August 22nd. True Lion Amphitheater, Charlotte. With special guests Drew Baldridge, Randall King, Zach John King, and DJ Rock. Tickets are on sale now at livenation.com. Luke Bryan, part of the Mattress Warehouse Concert Series.
Because of you, I dread every creak and groan. Because of you, my mornings start with noise and frustration. It's all because of you that I can enjoy a peaceful moment.
It's time to silence the chaos with Precision Garage Door. Regain control over your garage with 10% off any garage door repair. They ensure a quieter, safer garage. Plus, you get 10% off your garage door repair. Open, close, relax at PrecisionDoorNC.com. That's PrecisionDoorNC.com.
The Triad's heartbeat every day. Your daily connection to the heart, hustle, and headlines of the Triad.
Feel your heartbeat in electric car.
Back to the Daily Pulse with Stephen Back, where you feel the rhythm of the Triad.
I hope this helps make your day, but maybe even the weekend ahead. Giveaways are back up at the newly launched TriadTalkNetwork.com. Right there on the homepage, see the main navigation bar. It says giveaways. It can't be easier than that. You click it, and you'll see what we've got as options up there right now, and you can try to enter to win. Won't guarantee it, but I bet you if you don't try, you absolutely won't. So there's that. We've got another, I guess, hour and a half to go here on a Friday that is setting us ready for games tonight, both in the NFL, and there may still be some high school football action ongoing. Speaking of high school football, Dave Pulaski going to join us in about an hour from now to help recap last night's high school football game of the week on the Triad Talk Network. It was Reagan, Mount Tabor. Not to spoil things, but Reagan got the win, and I'll try to get you some other scores from that as well. We also have upcoming, though, if neither of those things do your fancy, back to school time is, well, it could have already passed for some, but it's here really for others all at the same time. And I see these all over the place. The picture, it's iconic at this point. Back to school photo. You got to grab it. If you don't get it, did it happen? That's kind of the deal. And the Better Business Bureau is out warning folks, actually don't take that picture. Don't do that. So we'll tell you why that might be here as well. Had a chance to catch up with Doug Eslick, who's going to join us here in just a second. But before we get to him, Thunderbirds hockey also not too far away now. And you can go ahead and grab your tickets to see the Twin City Thunderbirds back in action under new coach Boots, who's going to be hanging out with us here on the Daily Pulse. We're going to have a Beck and Boots podcast that's also going to be available at TriadTalkNetwork.com. What I love about it, though, is Boots, he said, man, we're going to be tough. We're going to be physical. We got to get back to Thunderbirds hockey where we've been successful before. He's done a lot of trades and moves here in the past few days that you can follow at TriadTalkNetwork.com. You'll even be able to hear the games and the broadcast live there on the site, but we want you to go experience the action in person Go to tcbirds.com right now. Grab your tickets. 8-game packs all the way up to full season at tcbirds.com. We welcome in our trusted financial advisor from Edward Jones, Doug Eslick, with us here to the Daily Pulse. Doug, how's things been, man?
Man, doing great. Stephen, appreciate you having me on.
No, I appreciate it. Normally we're face to face. This is, I'm sure, much better for you. You don't have to be stuck in the same four walls with me. But I appreciate you taking the time out to hop on with us here. You know, certainly for people that may not realize, you give us the Monday morning market updates, little 5-minute clips every Monday morning. We appreciate you providing that information. But these times to really get together back and forth on some of the key questions that I know come up for you so often is definitely really cool. And one of the things I like about today is that we're able to target almost like two different polar ends of the spectrum a little bit. You've got somebody like me kind of stuck in the middle and still trying to figure this out. But the people earlier that have a plan that they can look towards and say, okay, we've got things concrete, ready for us to put wheels in motion and really gain some ground and make some significant moves to be better off in the future, is one side of the discussion. The other side is, well, you know, I've done a lot of stuff and I've worked through a career, but now I'm nearing the time to hang it up and do some stuff I really want to do. And so you have, you know, those people that may have different thoughts and ideas and questions when they meet with you. So with all the volatility right now, there's stuff everywhere. Markets are moving all over the place. We've got the Iran, United States conflict. How should folks who are getting close to the retirement age or currently retired think about that versus the younger group?
Yeah, I think that's a great point. And you said the magic word there as you were kind of framing the question is plan, right? Like that's the thing we gotta have, whether you are 30 and starting off your career and saying, okay, I got these student loans, I want to save to buy a home. Maybe you're engaged to get married, you get ready to start your family, or you've just had your first kiddo, or there are all these different life stages for in the younger kind of that end of the barbell, and then on the other end is hey, I'm 5 years from retirement, or I want to retire next year, or I've just retired and I've gotten into that place of I'm no longer receiving a paycheck. Now I'm starting to spend the resources that I have worked so hard to save over the course of my career, and that's a really difficult transition for folks. Huge mindset shift. But the thing that's kind of ties all of those folks together is when you have a purpose and a plan, then you've got confidence and clarity in the decisions you're making, why you're making them, and what your goals are as you're making those choices. Because if you're 30, you don't know how to save and what ways to save if you don't have a goal that you're pointed towards. And same for the folks who are retired. If I sit down with somebody who's getting ready to retire and I say, well, what do we feel like we need a month of necessary expenses, and they don't have a good clean answer based on their data, man, it's awfully hard to build a financial plan if we don't know how much money we need a month, right? And so we got to know our goal. And then once we know our goal, then we can build a really good plan. And then once we got that plan, now we've got clarity. And then folks can relax and work that plan, right? And I tell you, Stephen, just kind of talking through this, one of the experiences that I've had here recently is, we're really a family office. We want to serve, children, parents, grandparents, how the generations connect together from a financial planning standpoint. And something that has been really well received is, back in that end of the barbell on the younger end, back up into, high school, where kids are starting to, have a summer job. They're, lifeguarding at the pool or babysitting or whatever the case. And parents are, in their kind of prime earning years, and they've come and sat with me, and we've got a good plan for them, and they're starting to see the power of that financial planning. And they say, man, I wish I had known about this earlier. What different decisions would I have made? Would you be open to meeting with my 16-year-old? Said, of course. And so that's something that we started doing. So that barbell, I'm picked an age out of the air there, 30. But something that's happening a lot for me right now is, we're meeting with teenagers. And starting to show them, the value of investing, and mom and dad opening an account to get them started, and they start to see, and start thinking about, money and planning, and having a good process in place very differently. And I had some folks say, that their teenage son, any dollar that came in burned a hole in his pocket. And then we had an opportunity to sit down, and we started working together a little bit. And he pulls up his Edward Jones account and checks it all the time. How's it going? And now all of a sudden, he gets through this summer job, and he's got some extra money. He said, "Hey, mom and dad, I want to go see Doug again." And they're like huge mindset shift for him about the value of investing and what that can look like for him and the difference it can make. So pretty neat to see families starting to plan together in that way.
Yeah, I don't know what it says about me at 16, and I like to think I love my parents. I feel like they did a pretty good job, but I was more worried about spending money on food, maybe some clothing, video games, something like that, than saving. Doug Eslick with Edward Jones, our trusted financial advisor, here with us on the Daily Pulse. If you have questions at all for Doug, encourage you to give him a call, 336-477-6042. It's an easy way to set up these kind of meetings that we're talking about now. And actually, kind of exciting for you, I don't want to fail to mention that you're getting set and ready to move, actually. New office opening for Doug, 6620 Shallowford Road in Louisville. That's going to happen around mid-September, so should be in there by September 16th. But same phone number, 336-477-6042 to reach Doug. You mentioned that younger group, and so they've just started their career, whatever it is. How should they be thinking about the future? And what do you feel like that they should know?
Yeah, I think one of the quotes, and I've probably said it before, Stephen, because I love it because it just catches people's attention, and it's really true. I don't even know who said it. I'm sure it's attributed to like 6 different folks over the course of history. But money's like manure; it's best when you spread it around. People seem to have that reaction right there, like, oh yeah, okay,
yeah, sure.
Think about their garden, and you're like, well, that is true, and so the buzzword in my role is diversification, and that's just a fancy way of saying, yeah, we want to spread that money around. And so, even if you're a young person and your risk tolerance is really high, and you have this long runway that you're planning, and your goals are way far in the future, and you say, hey, look, I am great with some short-term ups and downs in the market, and I want to look at owning pieces of great American companies, right? Investing in the equity markets. And that's what I'm interested in. Okay, great. But that doesn't mean that we also don't want to spread that money around inside that one asset, right? Like we want some big companies, we want some little companies, we want some international companies, we want some US companies, right? Like we can still spread that around even inside one asset class. And as you continue to get older, and your risk tolerance changes, and your runway shortens, and now you're going to need access to those funds. Now, maybe your tolerance for the ups and downs in the short term and the crazy news cycle that we're in, right? Maybe that changes for you, and now we want to look at, all right, now maybe we need to get into some different asset classes that may go up when the equity side of your portfolio goes down. Or can support you with some recurring income during those times. And and that just depends on each individual investor, the goals they have for their family, the timeline that they're on. Those are all very personal, family financial choices that we've got to work through together. But for the young folks, it doesn't have to be all in one bucket. We can still spread that thing around. That diversification buzzword works whether you're 30, whether you're 60. It just may mean some different buckets that we want to put your money in to make sure that we're meeting all of your goals.
I think it was George on Seinfeld that said manure. Manure was actually a good word because you got a ma and you got newer. So he subscribes by this same thing of looking at manure, spread it around, man. It's really good.
I'm going to start attributing that quote to Seinfeld then. I mean, well, why not?
That's right.
Classic.
That's right. Big classic. Well, Doug, we appreciate you, man, coming and hanging with us. Definitely looking forward to Monday. You'll have your Monday morning market update ready for us to kick off the next week. And if anybody is looking to link up with you, again, encouraging those folks to call Doug now, 336-477-6042. Hope you have a great rest of your weekend, man.
Yeah, Stephen, I appreciate you. This segment sponsored by the Louisville branch of Edward Jones. Would love to get to meet some more of our listeners. We've got another couple weeks at 112 Lowe's Foods, and then we'll be moving right to the heart of downtown Louisville mid-September. Really excited about that. Thanks, Stephen.
All right, we'll take our break. We come back. Well, it's time to get you some more headlines. Whatever's happening out there, we want to feed it to you real fast in Rifled Headlines after the break here on the Daily Pulse.
Let's start the show. Everybody get loose. Come on, let's go.
WSJS. Dive into the latest hot takes, cold facts, and witty debates designed for the curious mind and delivered with flair. We're the Triad's go-to for real conversation, where each broadcast is a fresh start. Every insightful discussion and witty banter fills you with anticipation for what's next. We're the Triad's go-to for real conversation. WSJS and WSJS.com.
Earned history.
Nobody's sitting down.
Chased glory. Lived consequences. 500 miles against the Lady in Black. A NASCAR Crown Jewel Too Tough to Tame Labor Day Weekend Classic. The Cookout Southern 500. The chase for the next NASCAR Cup Series champion starts here. The NASCAR Chase Weekend at Darlington Raceway, September 5th through 6th. Get your tickets now at darlingtonraceway.com.
I went to My Computer Career because I needed job security.
Because I wanted a career in cybersecurity.
I went to My Computer Career because IT jobs are everywhere.
My old job was going nowhere.
I went because I didn't want college loans for the rest of my life.
Because I wanted a career for the rest of my life.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today. Classes available online or in person. Financial aid available for qualified students, including the GI Bill. 529 college savings plans accepted.
Not available in Washington State.
That first time seeing my son, I feel like my life did a 180. He really a definition of like why he loves somebody.
Through all of fatherhood's first, never stop being a dad. Visit fatherhood.gov to hear more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Child abuse is not a bad parent problem.
Keeping families out of crisis in the first place
is how we prevent it from ever happening.
Go to preventchildabuse.org and
let's solve child abuse before it ever happens.
Feel the rush of the stadium and the roar of the crowd. It all happens right here with the Charlotte Football Club on WSJS. Experience every goal and every cheer. Feel the crown come alive. Saturday night, DC United hits the Queen City for a date with Charlotte FC. All hail the crown on WSJS.
Only one queen at the top of the mountain.
From first kick to final whistle, hear the crown roar on WSJS and WSJS.com.
The Daily Pulse with Stephen Back, where the Triad comes to life.
This is the Daily Pulse, back now on the Triad Talk Network, triadtalknetwork.com. Stephen, and we're about to hear from Christian, who produces for us with the Rifled Headlines. Before it gets right on top of us, though, don't forget lunch is 50% off if you go to Bossy Beulah's in Winston-Salem. Their sandwich combos just require a special code that we're going to share with you now. The code is RADIO. If you use that code either in Bossy Beulah's or on their website. You'll get 50% off their sandwich combo chicken sandwich on a Copain bakery bun with Duke's mayo and pickles. Could be yours at lunchtime and half off. Again, code radio at Bossy Beulah's today. What's up in the rifled headlines, Christian?
The Daily Pulse rifled headlines. Firing off stories faster than a speeding bullet.
Number 5.
All right, so Columbia House has finally decided to shut down its mail order club. Steven, do you remember the old 12 CDs for a penny days? Well,
I do not.
Well, some of our listeners might, because Columbia House says it will stop accepting new orders after September 15th, bringing an end to one of the most iconic mail order music clubs ever.
I don't have a CD player. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to use it. A car doesn't. I don't have one. So it's probably time to shut her down.
Number 4.
All right. More than 200 NFL players want to play in the Olympics. The NFL says over 200 players representing more than 25 countries have already expressed interest in playing flag football at the 2028 Los Angeles Olympics. Joe Burrow has publicly talked about wanting a gold medal, while Patrick Mahomes has suggested he'll leave it to the younger guys.
I think it'll hit for the Olympics, but let's not try to stretch this into just another professional league. I think it would flop.
Number 3.
All right, number 3. A runaway pig went viral, and a Grammy-winning songwriter adopted him. A pig named Wilbur became an internet star after running loose through West Hollywood, and songwriter Deanne Warner ended up adopting him after spotting his story. Warren, who has written hits for everyone from Celine Dion to Aerosmith, apparently couldn't resist adding another celebrity to the household.
Gross.
Number 2.
All right. Scientists just named a new snake after Slash. Researchers discovered a new species of non-venomous ground snake in New Guinea and officially named it, I'm not even going to get this right, but Laphis Slashy, after Guns N' Roses guitarist Slash. So
that's even worse. A pig to a snake. We're going downhill. What's number 1?
Number 1.
All right, it gets even worse. A Harry Potter actress says OnlyFans paid her more money than acting ever did. Jessie Cave, who played Lavender Brown in the Harry Potter movies, says that she earned more money from OnlyFans in 1 year than she has her entire acting career, reportedly making as much as €15,000 in a single day. However, her content is not explicit, and it much revolves around her extremely long curly hair.
I don't know. Are you into Harry Potter?
Yeah, that was the quote girlfriend that Ron had in the last couple of books.
Gotcha.
And right before he found out that he truly cared about Hermione.
Ah, okay. Well, I don't know what to make of that necessarily, or whose side I would be on. I got to get more details from you maybe later. Not surprised though. Just Lavender Brown. I mean, a couple episodes or a couple of books that you said she was a part of. Doesn't surprise me that she's getting more money that way. All right, we'll come back. When we do, we'll recap a little bit more of the NFL action from last night. You see that new score bug that ESPN put out? We'll show that to you as well on the Daily Pulse.
WSJS introduces the Triad Talk Network, your home for news, talk, sports, sports, the best podcasts, and the teams you love.
Whether you're getting your morning started,
home from work,
catching the game,
or diving into today's biggest stories,
the Triad Talk Network keeps you connected. Local voices, national perspectives, live sports, on-demand podcasts, one trusted destination. TriadTalkNetwork.com.
How to choose the right cabinets for your project. Step 1, go to Southside Building Center. Whether your priorities are speed and budget for a rental property or long-term quality and style for a high-end remodel, Southside has it. Our Kitchen Project Center makes it easy to compare cabinet styles and finishes, construction differences, countertop materials, and hardware options all at the same time.
Get better products and real advice at locally owned Southside Building Center. Stop by on Thomasville Road or at southsidebuildingcenter.com. Let's get to work.
Looking for fun for the whole family? Join Charlotte FC to celebrate Kids Rule Night on August 22nd when the Crown faces DC United. Start off the night with a pre-match party complete with food trucks, interactive games, special community activations, and more. Plus, get the chance to take home a limited edition Sir Minty Pillow plush. Secure your tickets now at charlottefootballclub.com/tickets today.
When your little one has a cold with a fever, try new DayQuil Kids Cold and Cough Plus Fever. It's the daytime coughing, aching, sore throat fever just for kids medicine. DayQuil Kids Cold and Cough Plus Fever offers fast, effective cold and fever relief for kids ages 6 and up with a delicious grape flavor that kids love. New DayQuil Kids Cold and Cough Plus Fever will help them feel better fast so they can get back to the fun stuff quickly. New DayQuil Kids Cold and Cough Plus Fever. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. 800-791-1313. That's 800-791-1313.
Paid for by Wesley Financial Group.
On the air 24/7.
You need to listen to this.
WSJS Winston-Salem, Greensboro, High Point, Burlington. Online at WSJS.com.
Good morning, High Point, Greensboro, Winston-Salem, and all the Triad. Stay tuned for news you need and weather you trust on WSJS. The Triad's leader in news and weather updates at the top and bottom of the hour. Your next updates are here in less than a minute, thanks to Logan Heating and Cooling, your total comfort specialist since 1952. From breaking news to breaking clouds, we've got you covered. Your world, your weather, right now. From WSJS and Logan Heating and Cooling.
They cool your summers, they warm your winters. Logan Heating and Cooling bring comfort to your home. They're the trusted hands behind every cozy moment. From sunny days to frosty nights, Logan Heating and Cooling ensures your home is just right. Since 1952, they've been the choice for families and businesses alike. Licensed experts in HVAC, electrical, and more. Your comfort is their climate. Visit Logan Heating and Cooling in Winston-Salem. Online at loganhvac.com.
Piedmont Triad area weather. Unsettled weather coming in today. Multiple rounds of showers and thunderstorms expected not only for today, but also into tonight. And we do have the possibility of strong to isolated severe thunderstorms. The main threats would be damaging winds, maybe some isolated larger hail. Heavy rainfall too today. The high mid to upper 80s, the overnight low upper 60s. Slim chance for wet weather lingering for tomorrow and then drier weather Sunday. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Naramore. For News Talk Sports for the Triad, WSJS.
You've got an opinion. So does everybody else. The difference? On the Jim Rome Show. You better be ready to defend it.
Dude, at least you're on the map. At least you're on the radar. At least you're on the schedule. At least they're coming.
From the biggest games to the hottest controversies, Rome takes on the stories dominating sports with strong opinions, sharp analysis, and plenty of attitude. No fence sitting, no boring, just sports talk with teeth. The Jim Rome Show, this afternoon at 3 on WSJS.
You've put in the work to get that first job, moved up the ranks, or started a family. Now it's time to take your success to the next level. At University of Maryland Global Campus, we're here to help you keep that momentum going with educational programs built around real-world, in-demand career skills. We'll teach you how to apply emerging technologies like AI and data science, plus timeless skills like leadership, communication, critical thinking, and more. Affordable, accredited, and online. A UMGC education fits your life so you can keep growing while you keep going. You've succeeded before. Now succeed again. At UMGC, we believe nothing should stand in the way of your next achievement. Not doubt, not your life stage, and especially not an application fee. Just apply by September 1st and we'll waive your application fee. Learn more at umgc.edu. That's umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
The Daily Pulse, where you feel the rhythm of the Triad. Back to the Daily Pulse with Stephen Back.
No matter what happens tonight when the Panthers take on the Jaguars, you could say it matters or it doesn't matter. Leave it up to the result on field to make that decision, I guess. You know, they had these 2 joint practices with the Jaguars before this preseason game. So you could say, look to the practice. That's all that really matters this time of the year. Those joint practices mean way more than a preseason game. Well, I read lots of reports. I wasn't there clearly down in Florida. We got things here that we got to tend to. But, you know, a lot of the people that I would trust their opinions and their thoughts and the information that they're actually giving out made me think the Carolina Panthers didn't win those practices. That's for sure. Or you could be of the mindset that it's just practice, man. Allen Iverson knows all about that. It's just practice. What are we talking about? Not a game. So tonight's game could be where you actually decide this is really what matters. Now, for me, talking points going into that game, I'll give you a few in a second. Other action happened in the NFL as well last night, so we'll recap a little bit about that, including the score bug that ESPN put up. I don't know. You know, it's something new and fresh. They host the Super Bowl this year, I believe. So they got to up their game and get things ready for that. We have some football discussion coming from Dave Pulaski as well, who was on the call for the Triad Talk Network high school football game of the week that happened last night instead of tonight. Some weather bearing down. Wanted to kind of get out ahead of that. He'll join us in just a little bit. And a little bit later as well, those back-to-school pictures. Do you take them? Should you take them? I see them everywhere. The Better Business Bureau says you really shouldn't. Let's get everything kicked off this hour, though, with your latest headlines.
1, 2, let's go.
We mentioned that weather. Flood watch covering much of the centralized portion of North Carolina. I believe most likely later into the evening, but I will say outside this morning feels a lot better than it has in most recent days. A little less humid and some breeze, probably blowing all this storm activity in. North Carolina law enforcement agencies say they remain in negotiations with Immigration and Customs Enforcement that is being debated in regards to Senate Bill 153. It gives the Highway Patrol and other law enforcement agencies the ability to perform specified immigration enforcement functions during routine duties. And starting October 1st, Medicaid eligibility will end for some that had been receiving it here in North Carolina before. U.S. citizens are not affected. This is more for non-citizens, including some refugees and people granted asylum or humanitarian parole. Yeah, last night, Fernando Mendoza, number 1 overall pick, back in action. I'm confused this morning, though. Maybe we'll talk more about this on Waking Up Prowl tomorrow. Yeah, I thought I'd already seen that Kirk Cousins was the choice there for the new Kubiak coaching start to Fernando's career with the Raiders. I don't know. Now I saw something from Adam Schefter on X that said that Kubiak hadn't made his decision between Mendoza or Kirk Cousins. I don't know. He set Kirk Cousins last night, so it was Fernando's time. And, still trying to get used to the speed of the game, going up against a really good Texans defense last night.
Play action from Mendoza, and he comes back over the middle, and he's picked off. Wood as the rookie. Mendoza trying to track him down and cannot. Pick 6 for the Texans and the rookie.
Rough start for Fernando last night, but he did bring things around. Ended up finishing with, I think, 86 yards. I think he didn't go any further past the first half of the game last night, as the Raiders do get the win 22-20. And let me just say, Joe Buck on a call, man. And, Troy Aikman, about blanked there. Those two, I like them as a duo. Stealing them from Fox, I think that was a great choice by ESPN, their Monday Night Football team. Laura Rutledge also joined that team last night. I don't know how much this is really, this is where we go in the preseason, actually. Again, choice is yours, whether or not these games matter or do they not. The score bug became something people were talking about last night. New graphics for ESPN. I like this. It's clean. There's nothing special or flashy necessarily about it. There's nothing bad really about it. It's just, solid. I think it looks ESPN-esque. Looks good for the NFL season ahead here. So they were covering that game, and then late, I was already in bed, long gone. 49ers did beat the Chargers 41-17. For the Panthers in this Jaguars game tonight, the talking points or the things to watch for me would be, I actually would start on the defensive side of the ball here. 59 points given up in the preseason. I really don't care who was on the field and when they were. That's too many for a team that I will about promise you they will struggle to score or eclipse 20 points per game this year on average. Historically, the Panthers are a defensive-first franchise. I get that E.J. Evero has this system that kind of they bend but not break, so they'll give up lots of yards, but they want to limit the points. Once you get to the red zone, that's where they want to muddy things up. They want to force field goals. Well, lately, 59 in 2 games, they're giving up a lot more than that. And from the reports, again, that I saw, the early parts to this joint practice with the Jaguars, that wasn't friendly on the defense either. So tonight, I'll be watching that very closely, especially with the ones on there. I'd like to see more than Jalen Phillips and Devin Lloyd be impact guys. On the offensive side, I know that Bryce is going to get his reps. That's good. But I think we're a little in trouble if he's not able to target Tetaroa McMillan or Jalen Coker. If everything remains underneath, I don't see this team being able to keep pace with others in the league this year. So I would like to see them, let's start small, just get a first down. How about that? Let's actually move the ball and put together a bit of a drive. So the starters will play tonight. I consider this, I don't know where you land. I really feel like this is the last go. They've got one more preseason game against the Texans, but that leading right up to the start to the regular season, I think that they will probably use that time to identify, okay, who's the last guys in on this 53-man roster? What auditions do we want to let guys have to try to make other teams' rosters if we're looking to cut them? The starters may or may not even play in that game because they have more joint practices with the Texans, and that's the whole new fad. You really give the joint practice time more of the credo than you do the preseason game. High school scores and even a clip of another Manning arm actually going to be coming up here for you in just a few. Away from football for a second, college basketball, my favorite sport by far and away. I love football, but man, if my High Point University Panthers are playing, my attention is squarely on what they're doing. I'm biased. I'm a fan first, I'll tell you. So I'm excited to get out into the Quabain Center this season and cheer on the Panthers. They've got great roster that Glenn Clayman's put together. And after the past 2 years where the teams made it to the NCAA tournament, they're starting to gain some national respect. One of the most elite top mid-major programs. They have actually, speaking of elite players, elite camp going on here the next couple of days that has some really cool high school recruits at it. But you won't be able to see that. You will be able to see their games if you go and sign up now, plug in and get season tickets to the Panthers. Tickets.highpointpanthers.com. Again, the website tickets.highpointpanthers.com. We go to our break here. When we come back, maybe we'll give you some of the latest high school scores before Dave Pulaski comes in and joins us to recap Reagan and Mount Tabor from last night, the Triad Talk Network high school football game of the week. If we also have time, back to school time, those photos, Better Business Bureau says, look out. Don't do that. Hang out with us more here on the Triad Talk Network.
Get ready for a huge night of country hits with Luke Bryan.
Hunting, fishing, loving every day.
Luke Bryan brings the Word on the Street tour to Drew Lion Amphitheater, Charlotte, Saturday, August 22nd.
And all my friends say.
And he's rolling in with an all-star lineup. Drew Baldridge, Randall King, Zach John King, and DJ Rock.
And then a country song came on.
Listen to WSJS for your chance to win tickets and enter online at WSJS.com.
The Cookout Southern 500. The chase for the next NASCAR Cup Series champion starts here. The NASCAR Chase Weekend at Darlington Raceway, September 5th through 6th. Get your tickets now at darlingtonraceway.com.
Biscuit King in High Point and Lexington serves enormous, delicious, award-winning biscuits. Made from scratch and filled up with whatever you like best. Today's special is a country ham biscuit for only $3.29. Biscuit King. Delivery and online ordering available through BiscuitKingLex.com.
Sales Spectacular going on now at Jerry Hunt Super Center.
Why are you talking like that?
My voice sells cars.
You were telling me that saying we have over 900 like-new vehicles in stock, priced very fair because at Jerry Hunt, we buy more, we sell more, and more importantly, you save more is not as good as you saying it?
Well?
See, no need for that.
But!
No, stop.
Jerry Hunt Super Center, North Carolina's home of the lifetime powertrain warranty.
You just don't listen, do you?
The Carolina Classic Fair is coming. Get ready to spin, drop, and scream your heart out. Loaded with over 50 family rides and games that will keep your heart racing. Feel the rush of the coasters. Test your skills at the Midway Games. And if you're lucky, watch the nightly fireworks from the top of the giant wheel. It's red, white, and woo for the whole family. The pre-sale on weekday ride wristbands is happening now. Save $5 in advance by purchasing today. The Carolina Classic Fair. Red, white, and woo!
We are here for you.
Your
Your brand deserves to be heard. At WSJS, we don't just broadcast your message, we embed it into the daily lives of our listeners. From morning commutes to late night drives, your message rides along, turning our loyal listeners into your loyal customers. We deliver results that matter. More calls, more foot traffic, more online searches. Let WSJS amplify your brand. Visit us at WSJS.com and click on Advertise with Us.
The Daily Pulse with Stephen Back, the soundtrack to your day in the Triad, blending headlines, opinions, and local flavor.
Yeah, as we are having kids go back to school, the pictures that are littered all over social media is the fad that everybody does now. I feel like if you don't have your kid stand out there and do a first day of school picture, did they even really go? It's like is a relationship, if it's not on Facebook, official. It's kind of the same idea there. But it also means with that like fairs start coming to town, fall, school starts back, got some high school football games going on last night. We're going to talk about those with Dave Pulaski coming up here in just a few. And fair season is right behind it. There's a rule though that Stephen, I will live and, well, by making this choice, will unlikely die by. And that is, I don't do rides at a fair. No, sirree. Anything that is able to be hitched behind a trailer and yanked down the interstate, I am not going to trust it and jump on. But people do all the time. And I don't know if you saw this, but at the Tennessee, I think it's their state fair, I'm not sure, one of their fairs in Tennessee, there was somebody watching and videoing for us, and they quickly saw something's not right here. You see them yank their camera down on the video feed up this morning at triadtalknetwork.com. But if you didn't see that, they're on the very common fair ride, really, and you would think is probably one of the more safe ones, really. But the swing ride, where it just goes around and around and it'll lift you up higher and higher, it looks like for whatever reason it was going lower and lower, and people started crashing into just kind of security railing while going around in circles. Nightmare season. So I'll go attend the fair, and I love looking at the livestock, and you mix livestock with fried foods, and what else is the fair about? It's just if somebody can guess my weight or my age. I love those dudes yanking their chain out there. Don't shoot the basketballs either. That's a robbery. There's no rim that is oblong. It's like you can't, the ball even hardly fits through there. What are we talking about? Will you ride the rides?
I don't ride the rides much anymore, but I go for the games, like you said, and I go for the food, really. And just looking at the lights at night, that's what amazes me and gets my childhood spark going.
What is there's a ride that is it's like a zigzaggy thing. Like I don't know how to describe it even exactly. You sit down and it kind of like moves you left and then right. And, they kind of like you're shifting back and forth. I don't know if that's a good way to describe it or not. I can't remember the name. I would say I've done that at a fair-like setup. But just in my adult, now able to make my own decision time of life, I quickly decided like, this is not going to be something that takes a lot of my effort to decide. Again, if a ride can be put on wheels, and I know that people come out and inspect these things and whatever, but like really, I can't pull myself to trust that. We can't trust taking the back to school pictures either, apparently. So I'll tell you about that. But one thing we can trust is the before and after school care at the YMCA. The YMCA of Northwest North Carolina, they have you extra prepared for this school season because they offer before and after school care where your kids can go and they can learn, they can play, and be tended to in a welcoming environment before the school bell rings and after the school day ends. YMCA of Northwest North Carolina has 13 branches, so spread out throughout the Triad, and you can go and sign your kid up for their before and after school care inside of one of those branches or do it online, YMCANWNC.org. We're going to do a first day of school picture. I don't know what we're going to quantify as our first day of school. I think next week, Christian. That's, I think the last stretch of Triad area schools are finally going back. Winston's been in for like 3 weeks now. They're going to be on fall spring break before anybody else starts back to school. Right. They're there. So I'm sure people have already done their pictures in Forsyth County. But I think next week we'll do the first day of picture photos. Now, that's despite the Better Business Bureau saying we really shouldn't, and they're encouraging you not to do it too. I think it's going to fall on deaf ears in a lot of ways, but hey, here's the information. You be the judge. They're saying that those back to school first day photos on Facebook, Instagram, other social media feeds may look rather harmless, but the Consumer Protection and Cyber Security experts, a part of the Better Business Bureau, warn that the signs children hold and even things around them in the picture can be useful personal information for people looking to create harm. The concern isn't necessarily the picture. The problem is all the collection of details people grab off of it. So you've seen the picture. Chalkboard, whatever it is, kid holds the sign. It's like, my name is blank, Christian Snyder. Age or birthday, 105. Grade, Christian Snyder, pre-K. School name, Hard Knocks. Teacher's name, Stephen Beck. Favorite activities, foods, colors, pets for Christian Snyder. Favorite activity, twiddling thumbs, food, nothing really good because I haven't heard you name one thing yet that you actually eat. Where the child lives or catches the bus, you put all this information on there. They hold the picture up, you take it, you post it on social media. Next thing you know, people can take that information they're saying and they can use it to figure out your passwords, maybe a password reset question, bank security questions, credit card verification questions, online account authentication. The Better Business Bureau, and they're probably right with this, research shows that 59% of United States adults use that information that I just listed off there, such as names, birthdays, and other things in their passwords. Easy still for somebody once you post it out online. Now, the other thing isn't just that sign they're holding up. Now you got to actually scour the picture of like what's around. So parents are advised to examine things like house numbers, street signs, school logos, bus stop locations, school buildings, uniforms, backpacks with a school name on there, any other recognizable landmark, because that information can lead people to find out like where somebody lives, where your kid goes to school, what maybe classroom they're in, maybe your home address. You might as well just not even take the picture at this point. Or you got to go way out in a desert somewhere, put a mask on your kid, and I don't have them hold up nothing and just snap a picture and be like, hey, first day of class, get back to action. I was always a little sketchy on the picture thing with my kids. My wife's not, I don't think many are. Now my information's blasted all everywhere. I mean, every morning. I mean, here I am. So I got nothing much left to lose until, like I said, we put that chip in my body and now I'm able to be scanned no matter where I go. I'm not going to be lost. Everybody will know who I am and where I'm at. digital IDs on their way too. So a morning of pros with the tech and cons with the tech, maybe. Before we get to Dave Pulaski, going to be joining us next here on the Daily Pulse. Going to recap last night's action in the Triad Talk Network high school football game of the week. I'll let him share other scores and things from around the league, but Marshall Manning, another Manning son, this time Peyton's in action.
Boy,
in
we
his
have a
first
change
high school
at quarterback. Game. Yes, that's right. There is a Manning at quarterback for Baylor.
Played in the Buford game in the scrimmage, but this is the first real snap of Marshall Manning's high school career. Going to roll to his right. They're going to let him throw it out wide. It's a beautiful throw to the sideline. Caught just short of a first down by Antoine.
Beauty throw from Marshall Manning last night. So Archie, who is Cooper Manning's son, getting set to get started back with the Texas Longhorns here and has probably a very high likelihood of being drafted in the NFL. A lot of people tanking and thinking of tanking to try to go ahead and get some of this next quarterback class. Look out, class of 2030, Marshall Manning. We'll be watching. We'll get more high school football conversation coming your way next with Dave Pulaski here on the Daily Pulse.
Don't miss the game everyone's been talking about. It's your town, your team, your Jerry Hunt Supercenter High School Football Game of the Week.
We got to win that area, and we can't have turnovers on offense.
Jerry Hunt Supercenter, the king of pre-owned vehicles in Lexington and Salisbury.
Steps out of the tackle, he'll go all the way.
The Jerry Hunt Supercenter High School Football Game of the Week is powered in part by Heritage Hardwood Floors. Strong floors, strong teams, strong communities. By the Winston-Salem Fairgrounds, home of the Carolina Classic Fair, October 2nd through 11th. By Tar Heel Basement Systems, a groundworks company, trusted and certified to repair your crawl space. And by Black Sand Company, proud to support hometown football.
This is definitely a big game, and it's a lot of fun.
The Jerry Hunt Supercenter High School Football Game of the Week, heard exclusively on WSJS and WSJS.com.
Piedmont Triad area weather. Unsettled weather coming in today. Multiple rounds of showers and thunderstorms expected not only for today, but also into tonight. And we do have the possibility of strong to isolated severe thunderstorms. The main threats would be damaging winds, maybe some isolated larger hail. Heavy rainfall too today. The high mid to upper 80s, the overnight low upper 60s. Slim chance for wet weather lingering for tomorrow and then drier weather Sunday. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Naramore. For News Talk Sports for the Triad, WSJS.
Hi, everyone. It's Brian Kilmeade. You're busy. I get it. But let's make some time for what matters. We'll dive into the latest breaking news, sports, politics, and entertainment. Your mornings deserve a fresh, unique wake-up call. So team up with me and my guests for lively debates and discussions. Tune in on WSJS and WSJS.com. Together, we're going to tackle the issues that all Americans are talking about.
Don't miss the Brian Kilmeade Show this morning at 9 on WSJS.
Good morning, High Point, Greensboro, Winston-Salem, and all the Triad. Stay tuned for news you need and weather you trust on WSJS, the Triad's leader in news and weather updates at the top and bottom of the hour. Your next updates are here in less than a minute, thanks to Logan Heating and Cooling, your total comfort specialist since 1952. From breaking news to breaking clouds, we've got you covered. Your world, your weather, right now. From WSJS and Logan Heating and Cooling.
Folks, let's talk comfort. Logan Heating and Cooling in Winston-Salem has been your go-to since 1952. Whether it's sizzling summers or frigid winters, they've got you covered. From expert HVAC installations to electrical projects, their team of licensed pros ensures your home feels just right. Residential or commercial, Logan brings the factor to every job. Visit LoganHVAC.com and discover why their clients trust them year after year.
The Triad's heartbeat every day. Your daily connection to the heart, hustle, and headlines of the Triad.
Feel your heartbeat in electric car.
Back to the Daily Pulse with Stephen Back, where you feel the rhythm of the Triad.
Friday edition of the Daily Pulse here. Won't be my last day this week. Hope it won't be yours either. I don't mean that like in a life or death thing, by the way. I mean that more with us here on the radio. Waking Up Raoul coming tomorrow, 9 to 11, so we get to sleep in just a touch. Make sure you're joining us then. If you miss anything from that or even hear this show, it's all podcasted for you and a part of the Triad Talk Network over on our site, triadtalknetwork.com. That's where the high school football game of the week played last night. We're going to welcome in Dave Pulaski in just a second. Before we do that, some quick score updates that we have from last night's action. Reagan beat Mount Tabor. We'll find out more about that game. That was our game of the week. But some of these other games, really most importantly, the one with Grimsley beating the number 15 team in the state, West Charlotte, and blanking them 24-0. Pretty big time win there for Grimsley. So we'll bring in our guest, Dave Pulaski, who is on the call for our high school football games of the week. And last night had Reagan Mount Tabor. Dave, are you with us and ready to get rolling here because you're out late last night?
Yeah. Can you hear me okay over there, Stephen?
We got you, Dave. What's up?
Beautiful. Hey, I mean, it ended up being a really good night for football. And obviously with the thunder going on outside in the gray clouds right now, pretty obvious that they made the right decision moving everything up by a day and, didn't damper the atmosphere. It was a packed house at Bob Sapp Field. The Reagan fans made that short trip over from Pofftown to the western part of Winston-Salem for the game. So it ended up being a really good night for football. And, Reagan showed why they're a top 20 team in the state. They took advantage of the opportunities that were presented to them. And that's why they're 1-0 so far.
Yeah, so I'm a novice in this. You know all the athletic directors really well and the coaches, and you're plugged in really well, Dave. That's why we really love having you a part of our high school football coverage on the Triad Talk Network. Who makes those calls to move the game up or back or, reschedule due to impending weather?
Yeah, a lot of times it ends up being the individual schools. The athletic directors will collaborate with the coaches and they'll talk about what may be going on. The first set of games actually started out down east where it was a trickle of a couple of games here and there. And then, the groundswell begins where you start to have other schools notice and be like, hey, these guys move their game. Maybe we should move ours. And that's kind of how it started around here. You had North Forsyth and Reynolds move their game. They were the first ones to move up to Thursday, and then East Forsyth and Glenn, and then the wave started building. It was other schools that started to notice that. And eventually by Tuesday night, that was when we found out that, Reagan and Tabor were going to move their game as well. And before you knew it, by the end of Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, you had the majority of games in the entire state being played on Thursday as opposed to Friday.
Yeah, it's it is kind of, you don't want it to damper like a big opening night, first high school football action after a long summer. And I don't think it did, especially where you were, where I was listening to the action last night. It did sound like a good crowd was on hand. And what I noticed was a lot of impact defense plays. You see that in the score, Reagan beating Mount Tabor 20-0. Do you feel like that was probably your main takeaway from Reagan last night?
Yeah, Reagan didn't really miss a beat in terms of their defense, defense that was historic for them last year. And one of the reasons why they had the season that they did, they went 10-3 last season. That was only the second time in program history that they had ever won double-digit games in a single season. And they rode that defense to a lot of that success. They pitched 3 shutouts along the way last year. They ended Reedsville's nearly 400-game scoring streak last year in the process when they ended up blanking the Rams, who eventually ended up rebounding and winning the state championship, as you and I talked about last year when we were at Lenore-Rhine that morning. But, Reagan, they returned a lot of the key guys from last season. King Kalama up front, Alonzo McCoy also on that defensive line, Seven Glover, the defensive back, is returning for his senior year. And then some of the other new guys making contributions as well. Bubby Mintz, who transferred from Statesville, along with one of the Reagan quarterbacks, Jacoda Harrington. He made an impact along that defensive line as well. So, Reagan looks really, really good defensively. They have a good system. They have a good scheme, and they have great players to make that system and scheme work.
Dave Pulaski, he calls all the action, our play-by-play man for our high school football game of the week. You can find all the details of where our high school action is taking place on WSJS over on our website, triadtalknetwork.com, and happy to welcome in Dave this morning. You had mentioned Reedsville, so we're going to have to at least keep an eye on them, although it's rare that they're going to have a hiccup. But last night they beat Northern Guilford 35-14. What do you make of that?
Yeah, I was impressed by that, especially when you see the score. That's a good Northern Guilford squad that made the regional final last year. They lost a heartbreaking, thrilling game to Watauga, who ended up winning the 6A state championship last season. And Reedsville, there were some questions about what kind of pieces they had. Deontay Neal graduated, as did Kendre Harrison. Harrison, the best tight end in the country, now going to be suiting up for Oregon in a couple weeks. Deontay Neal, superstar in multiple sports, and he's going to be playing college basketball. So there was a question about what kind of impact could they have on offense, but guess what? They still have their quarterback, Tyson Broadway. So Reedsville just picks up where they left off. They're called the football capital of North Carolina for a reason, right? It's not just a one and done kind of deal for the Rams. They're for the long haul, and they have the 24 state titles to prove it.
I can say this because I have family there, and I might even be headed there some tomorrow. But there ain't a whole lot more up there, Dave, in Reedsville than football. So
that's right.
It's that and farms, and you just got to get out there and make yourself a capital for something. There was a couple other results I did want to ask you about briefly. Yeah. We'll start with Andrews beating Thomasville 28-19. Yeah, I don't know. Again, just based off of High Point's, results as a city in high school football over the course of the past, 5 years, decade or so, hadn't been the greatest. And Thomasville normally pretty competitive themselves. Is that a surprise, or is tides changing here?
Andrews has been steadily rising ever since they added Mook Reynolds as the head coach. The last couple of years, Andrews has really taken a good step forward. They were kind of languishing a little bit, 3-4 win seasons, but Mook has made an immediate impact, and Andrews has really emerged as the team in High Point now. Ragsdale has improved under Antoine Stevenson, but there's still, a little bit of question about them, especially in the conference that they have to deal with Grimsley and Page and the like. So, there's a great competition for them. But Andrews has really found their niche, and, Southwest Guilford's down. And of course, we talked about High Point Central and not even fielding a varsity team this year because of their lack of success the last couple of years. But Andrews has kind of stepped into that void. And, that's a good, impressive win for them, taking down Thomasville in the opener.
The other game, number 3 Grimsley beats number 15 West Charlotte, and they did that shutting them out, like the game you were calling last night where Reagan beat Mount Tabor 20-0. Grimsley beats West Charlotte 24-0. Alex Cooper, 131 receiving yards, couple of touchdowns. Grimsley now won 32 games in a row, I believe. So pretty strong outcome there for a first opening game in this high school season, I think.
That was a statement. And we were buzzing in the press box a little bit when we first saw that score and saw that Grimsley was up early and big on West Charlotte. And, the post-phase on Brandon era has gotten off to a good start for Darrell Brown. And of course, Brody Lowe at quarterback, we saw what he could do last season when he stepped in for Faison, when he suffered that thumb injury in that opener against West Charlotte in that overtime victory down there. Brody just stepped in and just casually as a freshman threw for, 2,800 yards and 30 touchdowns or whatever it was. And, just picking up where he left off, we knew he was the heir apparent. And, Grimsley has the talent to back that up because they've built that culture and that program into what they are now. And, Alex Cooper becoming, the next guy on that receiver list, where they had, so many talented guys over the years, Caden Cato, and then, prior to that, Alex Taylor. And, it's just a factory of good players that Grimsley has produced over the last decade or so under Darrell Brown. And now 32 game winning streak, the longest in the state for the Whirlies.
This is kind of unrelated. You think Faison hits the field this year for Tennessee any? I know he's been in a steep, tough competition there for the Vols this spring.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he at least gets a little bit of a shot, maybe a cup of coffee here and there. I think Tennessee was picked around, I think, the middle of the pack in the SEC in the preseason polls. So, I mean, how demanding that Orange fan base is. So if the quarterbacks struggle at all early on, you're going to have people calling for Faison. It's like, let's find out what this, best high school recruit in America can do. And we also know how there is a lack of patience in the world of sports nowadays, where you want to have that immediate gratification of guys making an impact. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up getting a shot here or there. Might be maybe in the middle to the later part of the season, but a good chance for him to learn the ropes as well and learn about SEC football in the process before he, so he can feel a little bit more comfortable when he finally does step out there.
Dave Pulaski, he'll be on the call for us all season long, our high school football coverage, all the time available for you at triadtalknetwork.com. Looking forward to having you, Dave, all this season. And thanks for taking care of us this morning, getting us updated with the action from last night.
Oh, you bet. I mean, now I can go back to sleep a little bit. When you have a game moved up 24 hours, it cuts down on the prep time. So I was up at about 4 a.m. yesterday to finish writing my, pregame script and do all the notes and do everything I needed to do. So, when I got home last night, it was, a very satisfying dinner. And as soon as my head hit the pillow, I was done. So at least I can get a little bit more recovery time today.
I hear that. Hey, just plug into the Daily Pulse. We'll get you started every day, Dave.
That's right. You got it. I appreciate it, guys.
Take it easy, man. We'll see you next week. Dave Pulaski, he is your guy when it comes, our guy. He's everybody's when it comes to high school football coverage. That's available to you all the time at triadtalknetwork.com/HS-sports. It's a lot easier if you just go there and on the navigation bar, find high school sports, and he'll be on that coverage for us. And excited that football is, man, it's here. It's underway. It feels so good to say that. The other thing that feels good is to share with you that you can get 50% off sandwiches right now at Ballsy Beulah's by using the code word radio. If you go to Ballsy Beulah's in Winston-Salem, Say radio, they'll get you 50% off that sandwich that has juicy homemade pickles. It has a big old slab piece of chicken, Duke's mayo, if you like that, I do, on a fresh Copain Bakery bun. That and other sandwiches available at 50% off with the code radio at Bossy Beulah's in Winston-Salem or on their website when you order online. We'll step aside as we come back. There was a drone dropped a package. I think these things are cool. It's going to have to do better than that, though. We'll share that with you on the Daily Pulse.
I know we got a good thing going. I know we got a good thing going.
In the Triad, WSJS remains your steadfast companion. A symphony of hot takes, cold facts, and lively debates. This year, stop doom scrolling and start tuning in. Keep your ears where they belong. WSJS. Embrace fresh conversations. We keep the Triad informed and entertained. We promise unwavering smart listening on WSJS and WSJS.com.
This hour of conversation is brought to you in part by Crossroads Ford in Kernersville, the Ford store that gives you more, just off I-40 on Highway 66.
Drive it, love it.
CrossroadsFordKernersville.com.
Contractors, time is money, so let's cut to the chase. Southside Building Center wants to earn your business. We know you need reliable access to quality materials. You've got a schedule to keep and a budget to stay under. Southside has the inventory, pricing, and service to keep your jobs moving and your clients happy. From lumber and doors to windows, cabinets, and more, Southside has it, along with local service from a family-owned business.
Better materials, better pricing, built for pros. Stop by on Thomasville Road or at SouthsideBuildingCenter.com. Let's get to work.
The Cookout Southern 500. The chase for the next NASCAR Cup Series champion starts here. The NASCAR Chase Weekend at Darlington Raceway, September 5th through 6th. Get your tickets now at darlingtonraceway.com.
In times of need, we turn to those we trust for a helping hand. If you're the one who needs support, Sunnyside Ministry is here for you. They follow Christ by providing hope through service, education, and empowerment. Whether you need financial assistance, a meal, or clothing, they're ready to help. Join them in serving Forsyth and Davidson counties. They accept both perishable and non-perishable food items and new and gently used clothing. Sunnyside Ministry. Together, we build a brighter tomorrow. Online at sunnysideministry.org.
In a world that moves a million miles a second, Haagen-Dazs invites you to slow down and savor every delicious bite. Take it one almond at a time with a Haagen-Dazs Vanilla Milk Chocolate Almond Bar. Madagascar vanilla, rich milk chocolate, and toasted California almonds make this unmatched icon legendary. Whatever Dazs you savor, a snack bar or your favorite flavor, say goodbye to the fast life and hello to savoring the finest ingredients and the richest and creamiest ice cream. That's Dazs, available at retailers nationwide.
The Triad's heartbeat every day. This is the Daily Pulse with Stephen Back.
Back with you now here on the Daily Pulse. Just for another few minutes before we hand it over to Brian Kilmeade, who's up next on our radio handles of the Triad Talk Network, WSJS. You can see the full lineup schedule at triadtalknetwork.com. That's where you can also find out that I'll be back with you tomorrow morning, 9 to 11, Waking Up Prowl. Don't miss that. We may actually talk more about what happened last night. Kirk Cousins, Fernando Mendoza, the battle seems still to be on, I guess, because Adam Schefter from ESPN reports that there's not an affirmative decision yet for who won that quarterback job. I thought it was all said and done. I thought it was Kirk Cousins, and Fernando's going to stay behind him for at least a second or two anyways to see how Oakland starts off their season. Last night, Kirk didn't even play. It was all Fernando Mendoza. Tonight, I know we're looking ahead to the Panthers playing the Jacksonville Jaguars, so we'll see how that one goes as well. Not quite ready for hockey season yet, but it will be here soon. And the Twin City Thunderbirds joined our affiliate program here where you can catch all of their game action if they're on the road right on our website. TriadTalkNetwork.com lets you watch the games while they're in action if you're unable to get in the stadium. Now, you need to get there. And I think this new brand of Twin City hockey is really going to improve now that Boots has taken over the head coaching reins there. Kerry Ross, CEO, explained it to me this way. He's like, this is the man to make it happen. And I really like his vision. He's going to bring us back to the Thunderbirds hockey that we're accustomed to playing. So go to tcbirds.com right now. Go ahead and plug in and get your tickets. They have 8-game packages that I like probably best with a busy schedule myself. But if you're able to make it to every single game, they've got packages for you on that as well. So, full season ticket options there available to you, tcbirds.com. Tech, we talked about the pros and cons of it. Here's another con. Amazon is, I think they're ramping up how many drones they send out, which to me seems like a really good idea for big-time metropolis city areas. Less probably in our Triad area. I doubt we'll see much of this, but, New York, L.A., the biggest areas with the most amount of people squished in there. Get the drones up. Send them out. Get the packages to the people even faster. Why not? Well, maybe this is why not. Point. Yep. Right in the drink. That's why not. Hope it wasn't something that was perishable. She was there, though. She'll go fish that out. What? I don't know. I don't know. Do you think people drive that drone? Is that how that works?
I think there's got to be some sort of manual operator, behind the scenes. Or maybe it's all technology. I don't know.
I mean, I'm inclined to say it's AI now. AI is doing so much. I'm trying to think, like, what if there's a human a part of that, unless the camera angles just disallow to see what's below, which that would make no sense to me at all. I don't think they're that dumb in whoever created this. But, like, you got to see there's a pool there.
Yeah.
When you're about to drop this package. I don't know. I don't know exactly how it works. I still think it's smart. It's good technology, bad use of it right there. Hate it for, I mean, the way Amazon works in that case, I bet if she complained, they'll probably just say, keep that one. We'll send you another one. I mean, oftentimes that's usually the way that one works out. Coming up next week, Doug Eslick, who hung out with us a little bit earlier, he's going to be back with our Monday morning market update. We'll recap whatever happens tonight with the Carolina Panthers against the Jacksonville Jaguars. We'll be with you on Monday morning to do that. Also, looking a little bit ahead, we've got another high school football game of the week next week. And I'll tell you actually what else we'll have to recap. This event happening at Bowman Gray Stadium over the next couple of nights, actually. We've got Kyle Busch Invitational set to go tonight. Hopefully the weather won't adversely impact that necessarily, because I think it's just such a great thing. And Brexton Busch, Kyle's son, going to be out there and whizzing around the track, actually. Then you have the season finale. So we'll have to talk some about that as well. On the next Daily Pulse.